I was trying to document myself before having conversations about this, because I don't have a definitive idea of the things. But there's a movement in Pan-Africanist Black Americans that want to tell the world that the ancient Egyptians were black people coming from the sub-Saharan Africa. And they have a different series of reasons why. The way the Egyptians were using like ochre paint to paint themselves, and the way the melanin in some of the mummies, a lot of different issues, and me, I look at the map, right? Let me find a map of the world. Where's Google Maps? Google, is it Google World or Google Maps? Where you can see, okay, let me see, maps. Which was the one where you can see the, okay, let me use maps. All right. So, can I put this full screen? All right, so we are here in Lisbon. Can you see my mouse? I don't know. Anyway, we are here in Lisbon. If I scroll and go to the beautiful motherland, right? And I look at where Egypt is, right? This is just an opinion, not based on science. Let me just be clear, right? I don't know if you see the mouse, but if you do see the mouse, Central Africa, we here, right? DRC in the middle, heart of Africa, and so you have the different ethnies, right? The Bantus, they all come from here, the Congo Kingdom. The Nilots, the Pearl. So my wife's tribe, the Fulanis, the Pearl, they all come from the West. Mali, Mauritania, etc., etc. Here you have the Nilots around here. The long people, Rwanda, Uganda, and then on the south you have I forgot what ethnies these are. And on the north side you have everybody that is more like from a paler skin, but more from, I would say, Arab descent. And of course, there's a lot of great channels that explain the movement of populations. But I would say that if I look just in terms of geography, just by looking at the map, it seems that everybody that is in the north of Africa is looking more like Arabs, and ethnically they are more near Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Israel, Lebanon, Syria, all these people here. Egypt is actually more like nearer than Turkey than DRC. And the people from Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, they are more a mix of the people from here and the people from here because of the movements of population. So I personally believe that the Egyptians were more a mixed population. And of course, in hundreds of thousands of years, people can have changed and populations have changed. But the black population are more here in the center, west, and south of Africa. Of course, there's a lot of white people here. There's a lot of Dutch people here. I know, but that's another story. But it kind of make more sense to me that these people here are the ones that are, and it's not exactly those people are not the same than those people, but these people here are more the same because of geography. And then the movement of population and conquest, of course, the Egyptian army back in the days of the empire. Yeah, you also had some Sudan people that are not far. People from Khartoum were not far from people of Cairo, Eritrea, Djibouti. All these people, they have something in common. So would I say that the Egyptians were black? I don't know. Would I say that the Egyptians were maybe a mix of Arabs, Israelis, Libya, and then maybe some Eritrea, Sudan, and Chad? Yes, makes more sense to me. And that's why they would draw themselves with ochre, with a darker complexion, because they were not white, that's for sure. But were they black? I don't know. I'm not saying that I know, but it just makes more sense that the same way. Let me go back to the map. The same way that, where's the map? If I take the people from here, right? The huge territory that is Russia. My God, this is huge. Yo, Lord, Ukraine is small compared to Russia. I mean, all this is not full of people, but if you take the Russian that lives in Moscow, right? And it's funny because when I was looking at my TikTok, I was seeing a lot of people being Asian doing the something going on challenge. And to me, I was like, oh, all these people are from Korea or China. No, they were all from Kazakhstan, which is here. So to me, I was like, how come all these Asians are in Kazakhstan? And in reality, no, they are descendants of the Mongol. And actually, Kazakhstan here is actually near China. So it makes sense that all these people that speak Russians, because Kazakhstan was part of the Russian Empire, but they are all actually Asian people. And if you go to Russia, some of the Russians that are near Mongolia, they look Chinese, but they're still Russian. The ones that are here in those places, like in here, etc. And the ones that are here near Ukraine, they look like Polish people, Hungarian people, Romanian people, Lithuanians, because that's where they come from. So geographically makes sense. Now, people have moved during the years, during the centuries. People have moved. Empires have been born. Empires have fallen. But again, my problem with us is that we only want to see things in an emotional way. That's how we want to see things. We don't want to see things, and we are here complaining about whitewashing, about cultural appropriation, But then we have no problem coming to the Egyptians' culture. And this is not Africans doing this, it's Black Americans have no problem because of belief based on propaganda. And hey, listen, whoever is telling them whatever they know, they have no problem coming to somebody else's culture and telling them you are wrong. And that's a little problematic. So I try to, when I view these things, and again, if that series of African Queens from the Netflix series of Jada Pinkett was saying it's a fiction and it's a depiction of things, because we believe there were some light skin and we use some black actors, whatever. It's a fiction. But no, they're saying it's a documentary. So they are trying to impose facts on people. And that's where I'm like, oh, careful. You want to make sure about what you're talking about, because a lot of people that are pushing this narrative are activists. It's not based on science, it's based on activism. I believe that the Egyptian culture of 100 years ago was diverse. I believe that there were Moors, there were more Arabs, but there were also Hebrews, Jews, and also black people. I believe it was a diverse civilization the way we have. And I don't know about people trying to turn it into again like this activism from, listen, I don't have a problem with Black Americans. Please don't believe that I have a problem with them. But I believe that the fact that a lot of them don't really know where they come from and should all do DNA tests actually to have roots. And a lot of them, they are now fully integrated in the places where they were captives. Their ancestors were captives. So a lot of Black Americans, they are just Americans, and at the same time they are looking for who we are, and they will just emotionally respond to the Egyptians were black, maybe, but you know who I'm sure were black? The kings in Congo, the kings in Sudan, the kings in Angola, the kings south, those were black for sure. And you should embrace those ones instead of trying to listen. I was in Chad. Oh, I have video of the people in Chad. Where's my video about Chad? Let me find it. What is it? Kaysha vlog Chad. And then when I was in Jamena, the people look they're black, and at the same time they don't look black like the Congolese black, because we all are so many versions of humanity, right? And you have both, but you also had it gave you the impression to be, so everybody's black, but everybody also feel more Arabic because of religion, of course, and the facial features are not the same that you would see in Congo. And that was amazing. That was a great country. And that's just what I mean when it comes to the diversities. If you go to Rwanda, people will not look like Congolese people. But if you go to the border between, if you go to Kisangani, if you go to Goma, if you go in the border between Congo and Rwanda, you will see actually a lot of people that are in between, because there's been people from Rwanda that have been in Congo for a long time, a few generations, and also some Congolese that have been in Rwanda for a few generations, and you have people that made babies together. So, and it's always more complicated than people want to make it seem for activism. And I try to always have a more factual views on things, and a more distance myself from the emotion of saying, oh yes, listen, because listen, I know Jesus was not blonde with blue eyes. He was whitewashed as fuck. He was, this guy probably if you look at the geography, he probably looked like an Egyptian, more like a Basané whitish, Arab, more ethnically Arabic more than German. But yeah, they wrote their version of the book. The real version is not even in English or French. If you really want to know how he looked, you go look at the original one, the one that they keep from us. But yeah, that's another whole conversation. But yeah, so I from what I researched, whenever you have a channel that says that the Egyptians were black and Cleopatra was black, I mean, she was Macedonian and Greek. Yeah, I don't think that's black. But the people who say that they were black, if you look at the channels, the name of the channels are usually Pan-African something. So you're like, oh, okay. And the channels that say no are more like channels that belong to white people or Egyptians. Egyptians are like, no. So I don't know. But the map tells me that, I don't know. I'm not sure. This camera needs to be reset because it keeps tracking. Or is it? Must be the glasses. Yeah. I don't know about that. I think in history there were some black Egyptian kings. This is possible. Before the era of Cleopatra and them, there was a king, I forgot his name, that I believe he was a Nubian king. But I don't believe that you can just say of a population they were black or they were white. I believe they were all more eastern, northeastern looking, and there were also a lot of other types of population. Because if you look at the drawings that they do, when they draw themselves as red ochre, when they draw white people, they draw them white, which is saying that they were not white. But they also draw the black people with a black. So they were probably more Basané, more looking like Algerians, Egyptians. Like, it just makes sense. Emotionally, people just want to see. And listen, I don't know what is it about Egyptians, like they have to be black. What is it about? Like, because the pyramids, like because they just did those triangles? Do you really want that? These niggas could just be the way they were. We have our kings as well. Like the richest man in the history of humanity was the king of Mali. Why can't we celebrate those ones? Like, why do you want to go? Yeah, listen, you do what you want. I don't care. But it continues to be an interesting conversation, and I believe that nobody really has the answer, because the melanin is not. I don't know if it's the right answer. The way they were drawn, you can see it how you want. I believe the answer is in the middle, personally. Master Electronic is saying no, they were black. All right.